broadcasting to Harry Potter fans around the world for more than 11 years. Join Terrence Pinkston, Bailey Riddle, Luke Hogan, Gretchen Rush, and Alex Lohman as they take the wizarding world by storm. This is Hogwarts Radio. Stay classy, Hogwarts.
This is Hogwarts Radio, episode 252 for October 11, 2019. Hogwarts Radio is the official podcast for wizarding news from HPA&A, discussing all things Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and the rest of the wizarding world. For the quickest up-to-date news on the franchise, make sure you check out wizarding.news. Welcome to episode 252 of Hogwarts Radio. I'm Terrence Pinkston.
I'm Bailey Riddle. I'm Gretchen Rush.
And I'm Jeff Gill.
Hogwarts Radio can be found anywhere you get your podcasts online. It doesn't matter where you listen, just be sure to click subscribe and you'll have a new episode as soon as it's released.
Make sure you follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to get in on the fun with other listeners and fans of the series. And don't forget, Hogwarts Radio is also on Patreon. By pledging, you'll receive instant access to bonus content, including behind-the-scenes planning of the show, Into the Common Room, Hogshead Radio, and much more. Sign up today over at patreon.com/HogwartsRadio.
This week's episode is brought to you by Patreon producer Matt. Well, guys, it's that time of the year again. Looks like everything's falling. Everything's dropping. News stories dropping like they're hot this evening. Fans' hopes, dreams, Dumbledore. Everything's falling. I'm kidding. Kidding. Oh, come on. Not too soon.
Too soon.
Right?
It will always be too soon.
We're glad to be back this week with everybody. And Gretchen, welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm thrilled to be here.
What you been up to?
I can't even remember, honestly. Just avoiding you guys, I guess.
Busy schedules, I suppose. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, avoiding all of us. Well, welcome to the third episode of our Hogwarts Radio weekend. This kind of caps off a wonderful 3-episode stint, and we hope that you guys have enjoyed it. It's been a while since we did a Hogwarts Radio weekend, so thank you so much for sticking with us. Boy, has there been a lot to talk about in the past day. In fact, the day that we record this episode, we're really playing the waiting game, waiting on an announcement to come through as we record this episode regarding Cursed Child. But we'll get to that in just a minute. For now, the other big news is J.K. Rowling returning to Twitter after a 173-day absence. It really came out of nowhere. Her tweet said, "Sometimes darkness comes from unexpected places. Hashtag Harry Potter, hashtag Cursed Child," with a link, with a picture of, it looks like all new Death Eater album art. I don't know.
It has something to do with, okay, so along with that, earlier tonight, some Instagram stickers were revealed having to do with Cursed Child, and then Giphy.com, someone sussed out that all the new GIFs around there, and I was going through them, and I found some. I was trying to figure out if I could, suss out the announcement before they made it tonight by looking at the names and the tags they made on the GIFs, and they did a pretty good job obfuscating what they were doing. So, but it's interesting, if you look at the collection of GIFs, it gives you some clue as to the theme, which is all about dark stuff.
Yeah, this is actually a really cool dark mark. It looks like a kind of minimalist dark mark, really. Okay, so yes, she tweeted, yes, it's been 173 days since her last tweet. Her last tweet was something, in fact, that she had retweeted on March 15th. As far as kind of...
It was some terrorist attack, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think so. And as far as her original, kind of an original piece was January 11th.
Yeah, it's been about 9 months since she's really been active on Twitter that we know of. She could be liking stuff all the time in the background. But actually, no, that'd be obscene.
I mean, she has done a couple of little things since then. I am pretty sure she's updated her profile picture, but She also updated her cover art on the Battle of Hogwarts anniversary. So that was pretty neat, and we talked about that in a previous episode. But was this her? I mean, was this her, or was this just somebody else that has access to her account, her agent, her, a manager, just somebody else? I mean, out of all the months, we didn't get anything almost all year from her, as far as like Harry Potter related. And then like out of nowhere, we just get this tweet.
That's what makes me think that it's pretty significant. Like unless she's just bored, but she's probably a very busy woman. She's got a lot of things to do. She doesn't need to be just tweeting random things, right? So it's significant that it's been 9 months since she's tweeted anything of significance.
I'm trying to remember, when did we think Fantastic Beasts 3 filming was going to start?
When did we think, or when do we know? It's going to start next spring, but before we knew that, I don't know when it was originally supposed to start, before they delayed it.
Right, so they delayed it to next spring, so she could have more time to work on the script. So I'm wondering if maybe her appearance, if her appearance means that she's done, which could be a good sign.
Well, I also heard and again, I hate to gossip about our favorite celebrities' personal lives because they deserve some private time, but I heard that she goes on vacation every year around this time too, and that she might have just gotten back from that. So
that would make sense.
That was a long ass vacation.
Well, she can do it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't a 9. No, I'm not saying it was a 9-month vacation. She was on vacation this entire time. I'm saying she took a break from Twitter because of, let's face it, the memes and everything that was going on at the time, and the reception of Fantastic Beasts 2. And then we learned that Warner Brothers has done this whole, switch up, basically moving movies around, delaying stuff. They never said they were rewriting the script, you realize. They never said that. But when we reached out to J.K. Rowling's representatives that one time and got that exclusive tidbit that said that she was busy writing, and that she was busy writing specifically a new book and a movie script, we all interpreted that as, she's working on rewrites for Fantastic Beasts 3.
Bailey, what kind of weight does this tweet carry?
Well, I mean, clearly something is in the works, and it's important enough for Joe or someone on Joe's team who has access to her Twitter to release something and kind of tease it, whether it's some kind of news, something new that's going to be coming out. I think the fact that it's been so long since she's been active on Twitter definitely kind of lends some more weight to if it was just something that she had tweeted after tweeting responses to 20 people.
Gretchen, what does it mean? Sometimes darkness comes from unexpected places. Is this just a reference to what Cursed Child is actually about, or is there something more that we need to read into here?
I have no idea. Is this a quote from the play? I don't remember the play.
It's a quote from J.K. Rowling and/or the marketing of the play.
It's a quote from Joe.
It's on the posters now.
Yeah, it's on the posters now, so it must mean something.
It was planned.
If it wasn't a marketing quote, it is now.
It's the fastest printing in the West. But yeah, as far as what it means, I don't know. We might see something about this tomorrow, and it could just be that it's Times Square and there's a lot of people, but there seems to be a stage set up in Times Square right now, and there's a lot of people around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll keep you posted if anything happens there, but that's right outside the theater. So,
do we take this as a return of J.K. Rowling to Twitter, or is this just a kind of a one-off tweet and we expect to not hear from her again in the next 6 months?
Oh, don't say that. That was my fear. That's my fear, is that this was a one-off and then she's going to hide again, and I don't want her to.
I feel like with this kind of buzz that's caused by a tweet like this, she can't just disappear. She's got to be around at least for the announcement of whatever is coming from us.
She loves to play with
she can't just tease us and then hide herself away for another 170 some days.
But as much as I agree with that sentiment, she did just that. She disappeared with no warning. It didn't say, she doesn't owe us an explanation, but she didn't say that she was going.
I don't doubt that she would do it. It's just not nice.
Well, she obviously had her reasons that we don't know about, but I just want her to be back for good.
And people are still listening to her. People are still following her. I mean, she has, as of the time of this recording, 1.8 thousand responses to that tweet, 5,500 retweets, and 29,000 likes. So obviously people are, it's like she hadn't even left and she's picking up, a step here. But a thought that I had is if let's say she does disappear, reemerges again in a couple of months and tweets something out Potterish, that tweet,
is this a new existence?
Well, yeah, the tweet itself would carry a lot more weight and the tone of the tweet would be taken a lot more seriously. It's like, oh, J.K. Rowling is only emerging like she did back in the old days to give us, some sort of announcement. Or some sort of new content, or some sort of
You mean back when she tweeted once and said, "I'm sorry, but pen and paper are the priority," and then was silent for years?
Well, yeah, she did that over, like you said, a couple of years, and every time she tweeted that kind of jump started the fandom. Like, oh my God, what are you working on?
Because it was rare. You're right. It was rare and few and far between. But then she became. There's two sides to it. I mean, you see it. We saw it with her. People who are that accessible, celebrities especially on Twitter, face a lot of abuse. And I don't blame her for pulling back after what happened earlier this year and last year, or in general. I mean, people were treating her very unfairly, and or maybe not unfairly, but you can make your own opinion as to that, but rudely, I'd say, harshly.
So the big cursed child news really started with a tweet from Jeremy Wine. And a series of tweets really said, breaking, whereas previously Warner Brothers had no ownership to the stage rights of Harry Potter, they did a buyout and now own all rights, present and future, to all iterations of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Expect an official announcement tomorrow. This was tweeted at 12:30 p.m. Hang on, let me pull up the exact time here. Okay, so this was 9:57 p.m. of September 4th. And then he goes on to say in a thread of involving that same tweet, based on additional info, I retract my amended tweet. WB is absolutely at least attempting to take control of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and its associated rights in a deal worth millions of dollars. Obviously, if this turns out to be the case, I'll run a full retraction, but I feel fairly confident in my reporting and sources on this and stand by it.
Yes, and then though, another reporter independently said the same thing, that Warner Brothers had bought the play, or that they were going to adapt it, and that's the quote that MuggleNet ran earlier today. I'll see if I can find that, because that was another journalist, a verified Twitter account, and she said the same thing basically. She said, "I just heard Warner Brothers is." I'll try to find that because we need sources.
So he goes on to say, all of that being said, something is going on past just a rebranding, and Warner Brothers is absolutely pulling what power it has to have certain effects on parts of the production that they can control, probably as a result of the new leadership from AT&T. Either way, we'll have more answers soon.
Grace Randolph is creator-host of Beyond the Trailer on YouTube. She's verified. MuggleNet says we're not confirming, and we're not confirming this, but, and then they said Grace Randolph is usually credible. And her tweet is, Warner Brothers is working on a Cursed Child movie, which would mean adult Harry, Hermione, and Ron on the big screen. Who will be cast, or will they invite back the original cast? So she I feel like there's some truth to this rumor, because unless she got it from that other journalist and just decided to go with it on her own, that just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's very suspicious that two separate journalists said the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pottermore said it's not true. But you know what else? When Deadline Hollywood, that site, run by Nikki Fink, she broke the story about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Orlando being built years before they even were building it. And when I started posting about it, I talked to her, I called her up and was like, how sure are you about this? And she said 100%. And nobody else was talking about it. Nobody was confirming it. Other sites were saying, nope, it's not true. It's not happening. This has been, this has been rumored before, and it was. The theme park had been rumored many times. Deadline, out of all places, this Hollywood site just broke the story. Not a Harry Potter site, not a movie site in particular, but a Hollywood business site, which makes sense. So I'm not putting this other site on the level of Deadline, but I'm just saying these kinds of stories can and have been broken by all sorts of media before. And when we started reporting on it before the official announcement, Warner Brothers gave us heat for it. So when the powers that be don't want to acknowledge or confirm something, they won't, even if it's true.
So we exactly, okay, so we don't even know what this announcement is.
Right.
At this point, I mean, could it indicate changes, according to MuggleNet, could it indicate changes to the play itself, the return of familiar faces, the addition of new elements? Jeff, you had mentioned that there's something, Pottermore said that there's something exciting coming later on from Cursed Child New York City, but it's not a movie.
And all they said was something later on.
Right.
They didn't say tonight. They didn't say tomorrow. They just said later on.
Right.
So the feeling, though, that I'm getting is it was a press event tonight, obviously. They invited a ton of press to their Cursed Child Theater in New York. They invited other celebrities. We know Sarah Jessica Parker is there, for one. So
Sex in the Hogwarts City?
Something's happening. My theory was that Joe's actually there and she's going to pop out at the end. But doesn't she usually sit in the audience to watch and people point her out and they're like, oh, Joe's there? I'm not sure, though.
Could be a possibility.
I mean, if we're going with like Sex in the City, we're finally getting an adult version of something in the Harry Potter world. Might be a stretch.
I have another theory that it could be them announcing they might start broadcasting the play live to theaters around the country. Like you buy a ticket to your local theater and you go and you get to see the play broadcast live. That's an idea.
Yeah, so they did the filmed version of Puffs, the play, and that came to theaters and you could go see that. They've done it with other Broadway shows too, so that's definitely not unprecedented. I don't think that, I don't know, maybe because I've seen that before. That doesn't feel like a huge deal to me, like something that Joe would be amped about, because they do that already for Broadway shows. And they even have like, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Broadway HD, where you pay money to subscribe and you can watch shows there. So they could even put a filmed version of Cursed Child on that streaming service. So they're definitely out.
And they wouldn't call it a movie, and Pottermore's denial is still accurate because they're saying it's not a movie. Well, it's not. It's a filmed version of the stage play.
Yes, exactly. Filmed live on Broadway.
There you go. So that's one possibility. Another one is that I really hope it's not this. We talked about it before we recorded, but I feel like Joe would not lend her celebrity to such a insignificant thing as marketing, which, we're coming up the next holiday we have is Halloween, and Universal's been pushing the Dark Arts at Hogwarts event for a while. I hope this introduction of something dark is unexpected places and the logo and everything, I hope it's not just a ploy to get Cursed Child into the fold of the Dark Arts at Hogwarts franchise.
So let's talk about some of the changes that are being seen by fans at the Lyric Theater and at the Palace Theater. So it's gone to the iconic Marie Grand Prix Harry Potter font and changed from, the classic Times New Roman font or whatever kind of font it was that it originally had. Yeah. That's where this started on September 3rd, kind of, sort of. And, when an official statement was released on this, that's whenever, all this stuff started to hit the fan. But really, if they're bringing, let's say, okay, so if Warner Brothers is bringing the Cursed Child into the rest of the fold with the franchise, I mean, it's only natural to fold in like logo changes and kind of make the brand standards like one set level across the board. At least that's what I think. So according to the Rolling Library, and they picked up this tweet on September 3rd, it said, their tweet said, today, Cursed Child London changed the theater marquee at the Palace Theater in London with the new logo for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And they have two of the logos there. The first photo is the old logo. The second photo is the new logo. And then the Gazette du Société from France said WB got approved for the Cursed Child trademark in the U.S. back in May this year, and they linked to the trademark filing. And then they go on to say J.K. Rowling owns the Cursed Child in many countries, but WB owns Harry Potter, HP and the Cursed Child. Rowling registered Cursed Child first, but because she can't register Harry Potter and since Harry Potter belongs to WB. Therefore, WB couldn't register Harry Potter and the Cursed Child until recently in the U.S. And then they applied back in 2016, but only got approval recently because Harry Potter and the Cursed Child could create confusion with the Cursed Child, already registered by J.K. Rowling.
Well, I'm no patent and trademark expert. That's Heidi Tandy. But my understanding, the disclaimer that Warner Brothers has asked all of the fan sites to put on their sites is that publishing and stage and theatrical stage rights still rest with J.K. Rowling. Yes, the phrase Harry Potter is a trademark of Warner Brothers, but I feel like if she has the stage and theatrical, or the publishing for books and theatrical stage rights still, they must have worked out that she has the rights to use the words Harry Potter for that purpose. I'm just guessing, but it feels like yes, they do own it. There's no question. They own the trademark, but I'm sure there's an agreement that allows her to use it as much as she wants in the right that she has still. And
our good friend Melissa Nelly put a series of tweets earlier today, and she said in one of the tweets, she goes, "This could just be and this could just be branding. This could just be a desire to have all things that are trademarked by Harry Potter, trademarks squarely owned by Warner Brothers, come in line with the brand guidelines. That can be one reason that you purchase the rights. Basically, she goes on to say, basically, it could include and probably does include the eventual creation of a film. It probably does include some attempt to reconcile the entire Harry Potter enterprise into one entity. It probably means more and different merchandise. At this point, Harry Potter is a multi-generational global franchise spanning decades. Avoiding interpreting any news with simplicity is probably our best bet."
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, this clearly Warner Brothers is doing something, right? I mean, they changed the signs all over the world to the Harry Potter font that we all know is Warner Brothers. So that's all we know right now.
Right.
The Warner Brothers is involved. They're doing something big.
I mean, if we were to take it a step further, really, what it means is that Warner Brothers can do whatever the hell they want with Cursed Child now. They can make it into a film. They can fold it into the theme park. They can.
They've got the rights to it. Yes.
Yeah, put a different medium together all together, like a completely different interactive online experience. Which, golly, I don't know why this troubles me so much. I mean, I think we were talking about it in our Slack channel, our Patreon Slack channel earlier today, and Luke said, it's capitalism. It's all about the money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, I thought it was something that would eventually have happened. But now that it's creating all this buzz, I'm not sure it's something that as a fan, I want it to happen. And I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I heard about them changing the marquees a few days ago when they started the work, because people were posting it on Instagram and Twitter, and I didn't even bat my eyes at it. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It didn't even occur to me that signified something bigger. And I feel like if that was the only thing that happened, what we would be talking about is just potential things down the line. But I think that in conjunction with Joe coming back to Twitter and this mysterious fan/press/celebrities event tonight at Cursed Child, it's something has got to be going on here that we just don't know.
Usually,
and it has to be kind of big, or
yeah.
I hope anyway. I hope they're not making a big deal out of nothing. That would be silly.
I mean, usually whenever you, you acquire the rights, and that's not really big news in itself, but usually whenever you do something like this, you've already had a plan in the works. Otherwise, you wouldn't have tried to acquire the rights to it. So, I mean, that special announcement will coincide with, saying, hey, we purchased the rights to it. This is what we have planned for this part of the brand itself.
But Would they really make a business announcement at the end of a play at the end of a night?
Well, they would put a spin on it, I think. Like, oh, this is how it's going to benefit the fans. They'll apple it up a little bit.
I have to disagree. I don't think that it's a simple business announcement because they invited celebrities and press and all sorts of things tonight. Like, it's got to be. Oh my God! Why has no one thought of this yet? What if they cast some huge actor in a role or something in the play?
Well, see, the rumor mill right now is saying, and this kind of coincides with what we're going to talk about here in just a bit, but the rumor mill is that they got the trio or some of the actors from the films to sign on to reprise some of their roles.
Maybe temporarily, though. Obviously not for a run.
Obviously, since they all have experience in theater.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I would feel about that. I mean, because especially the trio. I mean, and we can speak for Dan and Emma. Rupert, he bless his heart, he's trying. But Dan and Emma have spent the better part of the last 8 or 9 years trying to break out of their typecasted roles, and to see them jump back into something like this. Either one, they would have to pay them a hell of a lot of money to do it.
I think Emma could be swayed with charity, honestly.
Yeah, that's a second thing, charity, yeah. But again, I just don't know how I feel about that. I feel like a bad Harry Potter fan.
For not wanting to see the original trio back as their characters? Yeah, you are a bad fan. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how I feel about that. Who wouldn't want that, though? Like, that sounds amazing.
Well, yeah, part of me says, hey, yeah, let's do it. This is exciting. The other part says, well, yeah, but those are my characters on the screen. Those aren't my characters on, theater. Those aren't my characters that I see on paper. They're not, I don't know. That's a mixture of mediums.
To this point, there's been a very clear delineation between the play and everything else, pretty much. And maybe they're trying to blur that line. Tons of work, Joe.
Yeah.
Bailey?
Go ahead, Gretchen.
No, you go.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Fine. Okay. So I can definitely see it kind of the blur, but the nonprofit lover in me, and it's probably just because I work for one, but it would be amazing if they did like a limited run with the original trio and donated all the proceeds to charity. Specifically
to Lumos, right? That would make sense, or no?
Yeah.
It would. I don't know. Emma supports some really cool charities on her own, and Dan does, of course.
Gretchen, you had a couple of thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of with all of you. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think that it does blur those lines. They've made such a distinction about Hermione specifically with the play that I feel like seeing Emma in that role or seeing Rupert or Dan would be really odd. And also, just thinking about their lives, it's not a regular show. It's in 2 parts, which means you're learning 5 hours of play that you, with like, I think based on what everyone's saying, like complicated staging and magic, and it would be like a huge undertaking for them. And I just can't imagine that they would be like, yeah, sign me up for that. Like, it just seems like it's a lot. It would be a lot for them to take on. And I also know that I wouldn't be able to see it. So it's like, what's the point?
Obviously the goal is, if you were running the Harry Potter franchise, what would your end goal be? You want everyone in the world to know about Harry Potter, right? You want everyone to read it, watch it, enjoy it. That's the goal.
And
so everything that they do, and AT&T, bought the whole shebang. So they're just concerned with their investment and the return on it. And that's where the whole Wizarding World Digital thing and Wizarding World Gold comes in, probably, which we forgot about that, didn't we?
Well, yeah, and I kind of want to backtrack here. Did we ever mention that? What was it? AT&T bought. They bought Warner Brothers.
Media, which owns Warner Brothers, which owns Harry Potter.
So they essentially AT&T bought Warner Brothers
through their purchase of Warner Media, yes, which also gave them a heck of a lot more than Harry Potter.
Good God.
Yeah, they own Lord of the Rings. I mean, there's a whole big list of things that they own that you can read about.
That is massive. That must have been a massive acquisition.
It was in the tens of billions of dollars, if I recall.
Okay.
More than 50, I believe.
Okay. So let's also talk about a piece of news that did get some traction, and this comes from this is this is one of those rumors that it's like you're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. This is what I feel like. But much as we were talking before the show, no matter in what article you ever read online, there is an edge of truth to it. And that's why we're mentioning it today. So this is from We Got This Covered, and the author of this article is David James. And his article is Warner Brothers developing new Harry Potter film. Original cast will return. To think that Warner Brothers is developing a brand new Harry Potter film and, the original cast is going to return is absolutely bananas. And if you believe it, then, more power to you. Sure, you believe whatever the hell you want to believe. But, it's like this article was written without a shred of sourcing. This was just like it wasn't good journalism. And I reached out to see if we can get the source. Of course, journalists don't give up their sources, or writers don't give up their sources. I asked if he would, and he said that he wouldn't. But it kind of really bothers me, and it feels like he just wrote this for the views. And rightly so, that there's 58,000 people that like this article on Facebook. It's the fact that it's getting so much traction on Facebook really bothers me. Then again, people like anything on Facebook. But I mean, look, guys, do we think it's happening? Is it not happening?
I would love for this to happen. I think that would be a better plan than them coming to the stage show, just because I think it would make more sense in all of our brains, because it would kind of compute. And there's so many revivals these days, like not really that much of a surprise. So I'd be totally down for this. The thing that would be weird to me, we're still in the middle of Fantastic Beasts. So if they were to make an announcement like this, okay, are you going to project it out till like 2026 or whatever, whenever the last Fantastic Beast is? Or are you going to put it in the middle of that franchise? Because that wouldn't make any sense to me.
I guess what really bothers me about this article is it says the production has been, they're talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and what we had just discussed, and they said that the production's been a smash hit in London and New York, with queues regularly stretching around the block. And I quote this from that article, and today we've learned that Warner Brothers is intending to adapt the story as a film, and that they're going to bring back Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson to do it. Now, Pottermore, the official channel, has already denied this, and I don't think Pottermore would lead us astray with that. But, I mean, is it something that I would like to see? Sure. As a Harry Potter fan, as a Wizarding World fan, I mean, it would be nice. Even if it is going to be projected out 2026 or 2030 or whatever. And it would kind of, in the grand scheme of things, it would really make sense if Warner Brothers really marveled out this universe.
Wait, how did you put that again? I like that. How did you say that?
It would really make sense if Warner Brothers marveled out this universe.
To its own company, I guess, like Marvel Inc.
Well, see, okay, so this is
Hogwarts Inc.
and I say this with hesitation because I don't know how well it's going to be received, and I don't know how many people actually want something like this. But develop a movie centered around each character, and then at the end, like within like the first phase, why not have like an Avengers kind of film where they all have to come together to accomplish a task or defeat, a dark wizard or something like that. And then kind of spread out pieces, much as Marvel does in their movies, like in the second phase, and then, have like, I don't know, the Age of Albus or something like that. And then, the final one be like kind of an endgame kind of film. It would just, logically, it makes sense to do this franchise in that fashion.
Yeah, I mean, there's an origin movie for every other character these days, so why not You know, do an origin movie for every single character in Harry Potter. Who
I mean,
cares?
and if you're thinking about making money, this is a business model that you could stretch out for 10, 15 years.
I'm sure
if
that's the plan.
case.
They have so many characters, so many places, so many elements of the story, and they own it all, so they can do whatever they want with it in perpetuity, which is exciting and scary as a fan, obviously.
Yeah, my only flaw maybe with this marveling, if we will, of Harry Potter is there's so much content and backstory to all of the Marvel characters that has existed forever. And Harry Potter doesn't have nearly the amount of content behind it that we've not fleshed out already.
But see, I think
do we want it to be fleshed out officially?
I think that's something that it could. I mean, that kind of benefits the franchise is that all these characters are already set in a way where they have the potential to be fleshed out in their own stories, and we really can't. We don't have a source material to say, you know what, that character really wouldn't. No, that character didn't do that. That didn't happen in, Draco Malfoy and the, walking stick or whatever the hell he might have. I don't know. I'm just throwing names out there, guys. But, we wouldn't have a source material to return to, and they would be free to, kind of go off in their own directions. And really, I mean, I think that would be kind of cool. And then to see it all come together. The marvelous world of Harry Potter. I don't know.
The marvelous world of
Marvelous Mr.
Potter.
Marvelous Mr. Potter. That's good. I don't know. Gretchen, what do you think? Would that kind of make sense?
A marveling of the universe? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
It would make sense. I would get it. Might depend on success of Fantastic Beasts moving forward. I know we've talked about that a lot, and how that could possibly affect the franchise, but I think that if they're trying to add more things to it, that could be even more relevant than ever.
And it would really make sense from a business standpoint because, look, DC isn't doing anything. Marvel is kicking everybody's ass right now. And, DC, poor little DC and their superheroes, are just getting hung out to pasture. It would only make sense to do this with the Wizarding World franchise, I think.
So apparently the announcement is imminent now. It's at the end of the show, the first night of the show. And allegedly there's going to be an event in Times Square tonight, according to the producers. And it may possibly just be for filming an ad. And that's why they gave the fans the free tickets. So that they would then later be asked to come outside and be all fanny in front of the sign. That might be what we're doing here. That's one possibility. That was by the, I don't know how to pronounce his name. If you're listening, I'm sorry. Diego Noves, the journalist on Twitter. He just posted a couple minutes ago.
Yeah,
and he also posted something else I have to translate because he writes in Portuguese.
Yeah, from the Potter Observatory. Check that out. He was also the very first Harry Potter channel on YouTube as well, so check out his YouTube channel.
Oh, is that him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, apparently, it sounds like we're just waiting. Oh, what's this? Oh, gosh, dang it. Before I hit that translate button, it said J.K. Rowling appearing in Times Square, and I was like, what? And then it said, if J.K. Rowling shows up in Times Square. Like, oh.
So kind of, for a second, going back to this whole marveling and backstories and side stories and every which way stories, if that is the case, and J.K. Rowling has tweeted this new and updated logo of the Death Eaters, could Voldemort perhaps be our first backstory?
Not a bad place to start. He's got a lot of story.
That could be very interesting.
But oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking we were going to see his story in Fantastic Beasts, but no, that's
Grindelwald.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Or what they could do is go a completely different direction with the franchise itself. Go back to Harry's story, and do a Marvel kind of movie series with Harry's story and the different characters involved in the story, not necessarily at Hogwarts. It doesn't have to be at Hogwarts. You know, it could follow the Weasleys, or it could follow, you know, like Ludo Bagman. I know everybody's been clamoring for that, especially Mike over at Potterless. I know that they could do like kind of a follow like a Nicholas Flamel kind of story, or a like a story.
I'd love a Nicholas Flamel movie.
Like
that actor, Brontis Jorodowski, he's hilarious on Twitter.
They could, I mean, there's so many different ways that they could branch out for it that would work really well, because we already have the end game. We already know what's going to happen. It's just getting there. Like kind of what Marvel is doing with the Black Widow movie. You know, we already know the end game for Black Widow, but how she got to be Black Widow, you know, we don't know yet.
Okay,
maybe.
So there's a whisper going on, and again, it has to do. Remember how I was going to say playful, but how precise Pottermore and J.K. Rowling and all of them are with their wording when they announce things or when they're teasing us. And now I'm getting a feeling that what if they are saying it's not a movie because it's not one movie, but it's two movies? And then they'd still be accurate because they said, no, we just said it wasn't a movie.
A movie.
Oh gosh.
I would roll my eyes
They've
and
played
smack
with
my
us
face on my
before.
desk.
But what else could be deserving of this significant of an announcement? I just don't get it. Why this late at night, out of nowhere? Why 9 months, J.K. Rowling nowhere, now she's here? Wait, something doesn't add up. It feels like a very big thing, whatever it is. And I really hope it is, because if not, we've gotten ourselves worked up for nothing, which would be real sad.
People will be listening to the episode on Sunday. They're like, God, these losers. Jeez.
I know. What were they talking about? They just changed the posters on this dang theater.
Right, yeah. They just updated the marquee, and they took everybody's picture, and they're putting it on Pottermore.
And they made a commercial for YouTube.
Right, yeah.
Gosh, I really hope. It sounds like that might be a part of it. I don't know if you've seen this. I've seen it firsthand. It started with the theme park when they had the fan sites come down for some pre-construction visits, not at the grand opening, but the pre-visits. On one of them, they had a camera crew on us, and they were like filming us drinking the butter beer, and we were all looking at each other like, what the heck's going on here? I think they thought we were going to be these like, you know, super fans and all dressed up and stuff, but, you know, we were the operators of the fan sites, so we were just there to report the news, right? But they thought we were. I mean, I think they thought that they were going to get us into a commercial or something, or one of their little promo videos, you know, where everyone's cheersing their butterbeers. But you know, I had just come from London. I was sweaty and dirty, and like other people, like no one else was dressed up. So it's like, I think they just stopped following us after a while. But that's what I'm getting at. Is they've been doing that to fans, or I should say, with fans for a while. Is just using them in promotional videos, basically.
That's very true. And we know how they're, especially with the way that they marketed the Fantastic Beasts 2 movie, The Crimes of Grindelwald, they used social media influencers for it.
Yeah, they really leaned on that for Fantastic Beasts, didn't they?
So, yeah, I'm kind of wondering what this is going to be about. Guys,
well,
we are really stringing out this recording.
Well, the announcement is apparently imminent. Like 10:30 is coming up on recording time anyway. Wait a minute.
Do we have something?
When was this posted? Oh, God, what? I went to jkrowling.com, and the very first thing on the homepage is Cursed Child film rumors. But you click on it, and it's from 2017.
What?
Why is that on the homepage of jkrowling.com?
What the hell? Let me look.
They pinned it.
I guess so. They pinned it back to the top. Wait, so let's read this now. This is J.K. Rowling's writing. She says, "Welcome to the first bit of rubbish in my waste paper basket." This is from 2017, remember. A rumor has made its way all the way into the press that Harry Potter and the Cursed Child will be made into a film, and not just one, but a trilogy with Dan, Emma, and Rupert. I have no idea how these stories emerge, but to set the record straight once and for all, Harry Potter and Cursed Child is a stage play. It was conceived and written as a stage play. It was always intended to be a stage play and nothing else. And there are absolutely no plans for it to become a movie, a novel, a puppet show, a cartoon, a comic book series, or Cursed Child on Ice. That's it, period.
Well, my heart is broke.
That's pretty definitive.
I was really looking forward to Cursed Child on Ice.
Well, remember, this is from 2017. This is not a new announcement, or even it wasn't an announcement.
So
from
is
Joe. It was just.
Is it possible? I mean, you're the techie, Jeff. Like, is it possible that people have been just searching J.K. Rowling and her website, that it's just an aggregation, that this is the top hit and it moved it to the top of the site?
Yes. I don't know how her site's designed, but that's very feasible. As a coder, I could definitely code something like that. It's just a question of if that's how they coded it for her site.
So we're getting some breaking news right now out of Times Square, where Harry Potter and the Cursed Child fans just got out of their play. Let's go ahead and go to the live camera feed from Earth Cam. Let's listen in on what's going on. We heard that through the pipeline that at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Time, fans are to look up. So we're going to sit here and wait with you guys. It's about 4 minutes from now.
I have some bad news.
Uh-oh.
Hope this isn't the announcement.
What are you hearing, Jeff?
Pottermore just posted an article about the story behind the Cursed Child's new design, and it's all about the logo and the poster. That's it.
All right, so we'll continue
It says the new design draws subtle allusion to the show's story. The tagline, "Sometimes darkness comes from unexpected places," was written by J.K. Rowling herself. How exciting. The new poster and logo celebrates the enduring excitement that Cursed Child continues to deliver to audiences around the world. As a special thanks to loyal fans, Cursed Child are giving 934 people, get it, around the world the chance to watch the show as guests. But you have to act fast. Go to HarryPotterOnStage.com and select your location. If you aren't one of the lucky 934, don't worry, as tickets are on sale now for productions in New York, London, San Francisco, Melbourne, and Hamburg, with more information on Toronto still to come. Hope that's not the entire announcement.
Well, I am going to HarryPotterOnStage.com right now. To
register, yeah.
Yeah, definitely going to register.
Wait a minute. What's this? To pre-order Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, The Journey, behind the scenes of the award-winning stage production.
That's old.
Please visit here.
Yeah, we've known about this book.
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah.
That happened last month.
They're pushing that too.
Boo.
God, I hope this isn't the whole announcement.
We're about 2 minutes away from this announcement as the crowds gather in Times Square.
I guess I'll pick New York.
That's what I'm going to do right now.
That's the closest one to me.
So how do I register? Like,
I'm looking right now too. It might not be ready yet. I mean, Pottermore just posted it, and it's dated September 6th because it's tomorrow in England.
Sign up for our newsletter.
It may not be ready yet. It may not be on the site.
Before you go, sign up for our newsletter.
Their post was a little premature.
To be the first to get the latest on news, on tickets, and more.
Yeah. I don't see anything.
Okay.
I don't think it's here yet. Latest news. Hold on.
About 1 minute away here.
Celebrating our 1 year anniversary. Yeah, I don't think it's here yet.
And the stage production of Cursed Child just opened up in Australia as well. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Oh, Toronto, Jeff, was the other one.
Yeah.
Did we mention that one?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Did we mention that one? Oh, you did mention it. Never mind.
I think I did. Yeah.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, I clicked the London site too, and they don't have anything about the sweepstakes either. So, cool. Good job. Thanks, Pottermore.
Fans getting excited right in the middle of Times Square.
I haven't been able to see the theater on the Times Square camera. I don't know where it is exactly.
It's not in Times Square, I don't think.
Down the street?
Yeah. It's on 43rd.
Ooh, I see a lot of like dark colored clothing all of a sudden. You see those people in the
according to the Twitter account HP Play Fans, Says, so who's ready for the big reveal? Head to Times Square. Cursed Child fans, the history of magic is calling all witches and wizards to arrive promptly and without haste.
Yep. It's some
It
sort
almost
of...
looks like people could be wearing robes.
I know, that's what I was trying to point out with the
That's
black.
very possible, yeah. Yeah.
I have a feeling that this is just going to be turned into a glossy marketing video. Like, that's... Why wouldn't it be? I don't think that's... I really hope that's not the only reason for this, but sheesh.
Yeah, but as we said earlier, I mean, why invite all of the celebrities that they invited? Why make a big deal out of this? Why give free tickets away? There's got to be something bigger than just a logo change or something of that nature.
Yeah.
It is now 10:41 p.m. on the East Coast. Still no
Something
official
should be happening.
announcement. As the camera pans and zooms all throughout, it looks like they've done a good job of sectioning off. This kind of reminds me of I mean, not necessarily on the scale, but like the way that they cordoned off
Yeah.
for
so
Deathly Hallows.
Now
yeah.
that it's zoomed in a little bit, you can see some people in the crowd that are holding what looks like house banners on sticks up high, like in the bottom
Oh, I
left
see
hand
it,
corner.
yep.
You can see some people with some banners.
Yep. All right,
That's
that's
true.
definitely going to be it.
Yeah. So they've got a couple of.
Whatever's going to happen is it's there.
I see some Slytherin banners.
I see Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. I don't see Gryffindor. Unless
don't-
Gryffindor is yellow.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. It was yellow with a red stripe on it. Oh no, that's the stick holding up the
I was
post.
gonna say that's the stick on the back of it.
And here we go. Man, it'd be lovely if they zoomed in on that square right there for us in the middle.
Yeah. See, supposedly this is 4K. If I zoom in myself on my screen, it's just it's too pixelated. Too pixelated. Guys, this is exciting. I love this kind of coverage where you have fans waiting on pins and needles just to hear whatever is coming out of this franchise next. And this reminds me of the good old glory days. Remember whenever we were sitting up all night just waiting for Pottermore to come through? Like the emails for Pottermore.
Oh, those Pottermore registration days. Those
Yeah.
were the good days.
Yeah, definitely. Still waiting. Fans are starting to kind of clap, do their chants. Remember whenever we used to do that in lines for the books and the movies, like get house chants going and things like that? That was exciting. The good old glory days of the Potter fandom.
A much simpler time.
It feels like it. It feels like ages ago.
Well, it was very much simpler too because we didn't have all this extra stuff going on. Like it was just the movies and the books. Harry Potter, not even Fantastic Beasts.
That's it. Well, I mean,
It was literally simpler.
arguably, technology has kind of catapulted the Harry Potter fandom into where it is today.
Sure.
Much as we've discussed on previous episodes here.
As much as we don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much, fan sites had a huge part to play in bringing Harry Potter to this point. I
Fan
would say.
sites, podcasts, things
Yeah,
like
well,
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I include podcasts in fan sites.
Still, 10:45 p.m. on the East Coast. Gretchen's starting to get a little bit sleepy over there. But we live for this. This is what we do.
This does harken back to the simpler times when we were waiting for an exciting announcement, but at least then we knew it was going to be exciting.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
This time we're like wondering, is it going to be a letdown or not? That's kind of sad, actually. Is that because we're older and what's the word? Jilted?
Mm-hmm.
Jaded?
Both.
All of the above.
Yeah. I can't help but like I'm jaded about the direction of the franchise. I think the ownership and the Wizarding World Gold. I know that's still coming. Just
So
waiting for the outrage to die down, and they're still going to introduce it.
this is
mean,
this was
take
just
your money.
posted a few minutes ago by Diego Novales, who we mentioned a couple of times on the episode. And Jeff, I mean, I think we kind of got the jump on this. This is just official, according to a story just posted on Pottermore. The announcement's a new logo design and the identity of Cursed Child's play, a new era for play and what is to come. Does this seem like over?
I hear
It looks like they're turned all facing the same direction and looking up in the sky.
Something's happening. Yep, I'm going to be quiet. You can see the video up. No, you can't. Never mind.
So there has to be some sort of video playing right now.
Yeah. We'll see it tomorrow or tonight if they put it up online. Oh, I think you can see it. Yeah, see? It's being broadcast on several screens.
Yep.
There's a cloud. There's a flying Dementor, it looked like. Oh! It's not identical screens. The Dementor's flying around the Times Square.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Ooh.
That is cool. Oh, no, we don't get to see it. Wow, something's happening in there. Look, some sort of light show down in the square. People fighting with wands or something.
Oh, that's neat.
It'd be cool to see the close-up video when it's posted.
It looks like people. I was going to say people have their wands extended, but they're just holding their cell phones up.
It could just be the phones, yeah. Oh, that'll be something to sell if they can ever figure out. Oh. Wait, that's coming. That's got to be coming. A wand that interacts with your phone.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe for Wizards Unite. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be the perfect match for it. So there's music and something going on, but we don't know what it is right now. This is fascinating, just looking at it from a distance, trying to figure out what's going on.
I feel like we've always done that with a series. We've always been at a distance and theorizing as to what's going on. Now we're just doing it with other fans in Times Square now.
So unless something drastic happens in the next couple of minutes, that may have been the entire thing.
Well,
All that for a new logo and no real announcement.
Yeah.
Basically, them just celebrating Cursed Child.
people are still
Yeah, they're still there.
they're still there. They're still holding their phones up.
I'm sure something interesting is happening close up, or
Yeah, I don't know that we'll see it until tomorrow or on people's social posts.
Yep. I would imagine they're probably getting all this ready for a big promotional push tomorrow, or starting tomorrow.
Now in All Times Square says Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The story continues on stage. Still not seeing any kind of official announcement or anything like that. Maybe it was just a really cool video.
What if they were announcing like a part 3?
Oh God, part 3, and then everybody woke up or something like that, you know. So there, we know one thing for certain: we haven't seen J.K. Rowling at all. She has not appeared from anywhere at all. We're not seeing. We're seeing on the screens J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. But we're seeing it. We're seeing the Harry Potter font in the Marie Grand Prix font, and you know this is interesting. It says J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Now, didn't we just go through a rebrand of the Wizarding World, where J.K. Rowling's name was stricken from the Wizarding World? So it looks like it was just that. Bringing the attention maybe to the screens of Times Square, bringing a visualization of it. It says the curse. Okay, so people are saying that the Cursed Child cast is heading to Times Square, but I mean nothing.
And people are still there.
Yeah, I think this story on Pottermore might be it.
Good
Yeah.
Lord, I
Well,
can't believe that.
Well,
what did they think was going to happen when they tweeted this out? Do you know, first of all, if you go back to go on Pottermore's Twitter feed today, they started teasing Cursed Child 12 hours ago at 10 a.m. because they knew they were going to do this tonight, and nobody else did. Did you see? They said that we're having our first ever Cursed Child quiz on Pottermore. That was the first tweet of the day. And then they did a whole thing about Cursed Child all through the day. God, why couldn't they have just told us there's going to be a special announcement tonight, but not to make a big deal out of it like we just did?
We are about out of time for this episode, and so we're going to go ahead and just kind of wrap things up here as we're going through right now the latest tweets. And I just filtered Cursed Child, and I'm having to translate a lot of these tweets from either Portuguese or Spanish. But it looks like people are upset. Like, that was it. That
Understandably.
And yeah, I mean, I get it. I really do. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm sure that we'll be reporting on it throughout the weekend. You can go ahead and check that out all over the fan sites. That's about it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Once again, I'm Terrence Pinkston.
I'm Bailey Riddle.
I'm disappointed.
I'm Jeff Gillum.
And we'll see everybody next time for episode 253. Bye-bye.
That was bloody brilliant.
Codswallop.